Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Ishan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling you in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. No bidders for Kingfisher building in Mumbai. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says all government agencies will make efforts to recover dues owed by businessman Vijay Mallya. All eyes on bilateral talks between External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and Pakistani Prime Minister's advisor on Foreign Affairs Sartaj Aziz at the SAARC meet in Nepal. Official dialogue features January 2016 Pathankot air-based terror attack. The Congress says it has played its part for smoothly running Parliament in the first half of the budget session, claims credit for bills passed in the Rajya Sabha, raises questions on the foreign policy of the NDA government. And US President Barack Obama imposes fresh sanctions on North Korea after nuclear test and satellite launch. Executive order imposes ban on exports and investments in North Korea. Our top story this evening, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley today once again assured that the government will take strong action against Vijay Mallya for all his legal violations. He also assured that banks will go all out in recovering their dues from him. Meanwhile, the SBI started auction process of the Kingfisher house near the Mumbai airport.
Headquarters of the long-grounded Kingfisher Airlines, owned by debt-ridden liquor baron Vijay Mallya, was put up for online auction on Thursday. The base price of the Mumbai-based property was set at 150 crore rupees. But the auction held by the State Bank of India could not garner any bids. Reports said the bidders found the base price too high. In a related development, former Chief Financial Officer of Kingfisher Airlines A. Raghunathan and former Chief Financial Officer of United Breweries Group Ravi Nedungari were questioned by Enforcement Directorate officials in Mumbai. Reacting to questions on what action the government proposed to take on Mallya, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley assured that the banks will recover every penny of loan given to him.
To say what I have to say, his facts are clear. It's pending in court. Every government agency, whether it's the taxation department or it's the investigative agencies, wherever he has violated the law, is going to take strong action. As far as the banks are concerned, I've found out the details from the bankers itself. I've been briefed that they are going all out to recover every penny of the last rupee that they can from him.
Jaitley also said the government was trying to address the problem of NPAs in sectors like steel, textile, highways and infrastructure, which are on account of economic slowdown. However, Jaitley said the real worry was cases involving misconduct on the part of individuals.
Where large amount of loans have been given in individual cases, and some of those people would have misconducted themselves. There may not be adequate sureties. And that's a source of worry. I think these cases need to be segregated from the rest of the cases which are on account of the sectoral slowdown.
Earlier this week, a Hyderabad court issued a non-bailable arrest warrant against Mallya and Raghunath in an alleged cheating case. Mallya, who is facing debt recovery proceedings from 17 banks led by the SBI, left India early this month. He hasn't disclosed his whereabouts. Kingfisher Airlines collapsed in 2013, leaving creditors, suppliers and employees unpaid. Reports say the airline owes banks nearly 9,000 crore rupees. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley rejected the Congress's demand to cap the tax rate under GST in the Constitution Amendment Bill itself. He said it would be difficult to accept the demand. Speaking at the India Today conclave, Jaitley hoped that the government will be able to pass the Constitution Amendment Bill for GST in the second half of the budget session.
The Congress party, now I read a statement, has only one issue about a constitutional cap, which is a little difficult to impact because neither are tariffs decided through constitutional amendments. In the GST, where centre and states decide together, the tariffs will be decided by the GST Council and therefore can't be decided by a constitutional cap. I think that's the only glitch that remains. I would still like the Congress party to come on board. And I can easily see And this is going to happen in this phase of the biennial elections. The numbers are significantly changing. And in any case, I am reasonably confident that the numbers in the upper house now also are in favor of the GST.
The Congress today claimed credit for the work done in the first half of the budget session. Party leaders pointed out in this regard that as many as 11 bills were passed in the Rajya Sabha. Leader of the opposition in the upper house also raised questions on the foreign policy of the NDA government.
कांग्रेस पार्टी एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है। वो लोगों के मुद्दे उठाती है और वो काम भी करना जानती है। इसलिए दोनों सदनों में जो रिकॉर्ड काम हुआ उसके लिए अगर गवर्नमेंट शायद एक सदन में क्रेडिट लेने की कोशिश करेगी कि उसमें उनका बहुमत है, लेकिन दूसरे सदन में राज्यसभा में शायद कांग्रेस को बीजेपी से ज्यादा क्रेडिट लेना होगा क्योंकि उनके बगैर एक भी बिल पास नहीं हो सकता था।
Claiming credit for several bills passed in the first half of the budget session, the Congress on Thursday underlined amendments cleared by the upper house on the motion of thanks and Aadhaar bill.
ये दो अमेंडमेंट्स जो हमने राष्ट्रपति के अभिभाषण में जो लाई और आधार बिल में बिल अमेंडमेंट लाई, इससे ये सिद्ध कर दिया हमने एक तरीके से कि गवर्नमेंट को राज्यसभा को लाइटली नहीं लेना चाहिए। हम अपने अधिकार का पूरा इस्तेमाल करेंगे जब कभी भी ये गवर्नमेंट राज्यसभा की प्रेस्टीज को और उसकी पावर्स को कम करने की कोशिश करेगी।
Pointing out issues raised by Party Vice President Rahul Gandhi in the Lok Sabha, the party also criticized the move to refer the citizenship issue against him to the Ethics Committee.
Blindly referred the case of citizenship of Rahul Gandhi to the Ethics Committee without any sense of judgment, without even making out a case.
The main opposition party also raised questions on the NDA government's foreign policy and also the Rafale deal with France. This is Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the SAARC SAARC External Affairs Meet is underway in Nepal and was inaugurated by Nepalese Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. In fact, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj held bilateral talks with Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's advisor on foreign affairs, Sartaj Aziz, on the sidelines of the SAARC ministerial meeting in Pokhara, Nepal. This is the first official dialogue with each other after the January 2006 Pathan air-based terror attack.
Nepal's Prime Minister Khadga Prasad Sharma Oli on Thursday inaugurated the meeting of the 37th South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation Council of Ministers. Addressing foreign ministers and representatives from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, Oli called for enhanced cooperation among the 8 member countries.
South Asia is emerging as the potential global economic powerhouse. It is imperative that we build on this economic progress and its associated positive synergies and complementarities to promote enhanced cooperation in line with the objectives of the SAARC.
The ministerial meet will set the date for the next SAARC summit and select a new Secretary General for the body. Earlier, Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj had informal interactions with Pakistani Prime Minister's advisor on foreign affairs, Sartaj Aziz, over the breakfast table.
देखें क्या निकल के आता है। एक तरफ से ये बातचीत होती है, दूसरी तरफ से ऐसी कार्रवाई होती है कि वहाँ पे कोई ये बातचीत के चलते हुए कोई फायदे की बात आगे के लिए वो निकलती नहीं है। लेकिन हम देखें क्या डिस्कस करते हैं।
In the large interest of the country, our country, India and Pakistan, I think they should sit us and they should start the way of dialogue so things will be improved.
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the striking jewellers from across the country reached the national capital today. The agitation against the government's 1% excise duty hike on non-silver ornaments entered its 16th day today. More than 50,000 jewellers took part in a rally in New Delhi demanding a rollback of the duty.
Jewelers across the country held a protest at the Ramlila Maidan in New Delhi on Thursday. They were protesting against the 1% excise duty on gold and diamond jewellery imposed in the budget 2016-17.
ऐसी एक्साइज ड्यूटी का क्या फायदा जब व्यापारी अपना व्यापार को खो देगा। पहले कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट ने एक्साइज ड्यूटी लगाई थी, उसे समझ में आया कि एक्साइज ड्यूटी ज्वेलर्स के ऊपर लगाने से उसके दुष्प्रभाव आएंगे, वो इंप्लीमेंट करने में प्रॉब्लम आएगी, तो उन्होंने उसको रोल बैक कर दिया। वही काम अब एनडीए गवर्नमेंट ने किया है, तो उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि ये ड्यूटी तो उनको वापस लेनी ही पड़ेगी। बट हमने दृढ़ निश्चय कर लिया है, जब तक एक्साइज ड्यूटी रोल बैक नहीं होगी, हम अनिश्चितकालीन हड़ताल पर रहेंगे।
Over 3 lakh jewelers are on indefinite strike for the last 16 days. It has caused the gems and jewellery sector losses of nearly 20,000 crore rupees. Meanwhile, the striking jewelers found support from Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Kejriwal wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeking a rollback in the excise duty. He said the tax went against the NDA government's Make in India pitch.
जितनी कॉस्ट ऑफ कलेक्शन है वो रेवेन्यू से कहीं ज़्यादा होने वाली है। इसमें हैरेसमेंट और करप्शन के अलावा कुछ नहीं होने वाला। व्यापारियों का कहना है कि हम पैसा देने के लिए तैयार हैं, टैक्स देने के लिए तैयार हैं, लेकिन हैरेसमेंट नहीं होना चाहिए।
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley rejected the rollback request, saying the move is in preparation for unveiling of the goods and services tax.
क्योंकि हर वस्तु जीएसटी के दायरे में आती है, इसलिए ये उसकी तैयारी का है।
The government imposed an excise duty of 1% without input tax credit or 12% with input tax credit on articles of jewellery with a higher exemption and eligibility limits of 6 crore rupees and 12 crore rupees. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, INLD leaders from Haryana today protested outside the Punjab Assembly against the bill passed by it. Through the bill, the Punjab government aims to return 3,928 acres of land near the Satluj-Yamuna link canal to the original owners. However, INLD MLAs led the protest after staging a walkout at the Punjab Assembly. INLD MLAs raised slogans against the governments in Punjab and Haryana and demanded that the bill be withdrawn. The legislators were also involved in a scuffle with security personnel outside the Punjab Assembly.
उसके ऊपर पंजाब की सरकार ने एक ऐसा निर्णय लिया, एक ऐसा बिल लेकर के आए जिसकी वजह से आज फिर कहीं ना कहीं नया विवाद खड़ा हो गया। और जिस ढंग से पंजाब सरकार ने बिल पास हुआ नहीं, अब तक बिल अब तक मंजूर नहीं हुआ। उससे पहले जो SYL नहर बनी हुई थी, उस नहर को काटने का काम कर दिया, उस नहर में मिट्टी डालने का काम कर दिया। जो बिल इन्होंने आज लाने का काम किया, उससे हमारे और इनके जो आपसी भाईचारे थे, जो हमारे और इनके आपसी रिश्ते थे, आज इन्होंने पूरी तरह से उनको तार-तार कर दिया, आज इन्होंने तोड़ दिया। इससे ज्यादा असंवैधानिक काम आज तक किसी भी असेंबली में नहीं हुआ। ये देश में और हमारा हरियाणा प्रदेश के लिए आज एक काला अध्याय है, और इस काला अध्याय के अंत करने के लिए इंडियन नेशनल लोकदल पार्टी किसी भी हद तक लड़ाई लड़ेगी।
Time for us to take a short break. Lots more on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries. Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 10:30 p.m.
Hello and welcome. I'm Amritanshu Rai. You're watching Constitutionally Yours.
अपने को एक्सप्रेस करने के स्वतंत्रता बहुत ज़्यादा प्रेशस राइट है।
फ्रीडम का अर्थ ये नहीं है कि किसी के डिफेमेशन तक जाए, हम राष्ट्रद्रोह तक जाए।
क्या जातिगत आरक्षण सही है?
जब तक सोसाइटी को सूट होने तक है, तब तक वो बात ठीक है। यदि सोसाइटी को सूट नहीं होता है, तो हमको कानून बदलना ही पड़ेगा।
Join us as we try to understand contemporary issues related to the Constitution. Watch Constitutionally Yours on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching the news at 6. Now, the Haryana government has stepped up security in many towns as the deadline issued by the Jat community to accept their demand for quotas ended today. Jat community leaders had threatened to resume their agitation for quotas that saw widespread violence across the state last month. An alert was sounded in Rohtak, Hisar and other districts of Haryana amid fears of a repeat of the Jat reservation agitation. The district administration ordered closure of schools and colleges from Thursday. The Bombay High Court today commuted the death penalty to the 2010 German bakery blast accused Himayat Beg to life term. However, the court found Beg guilty of possessing explosive substances and forged documents. The court was delivering its verdict on a confirmation petition on the death penalty awarded to Beg. The confirmation petition was filed by the Maharashtra government, and Beg had filed the appeal challenging his conviction. The accused was awarded death penalty for masterminding the German bakery blast that killed 17 people in Pune in 2010. Some more national news stories in Nationwide now. The Rajya Assembly today witnessed repeated adjournments after Congress stalled the session over the petrol price hike, demanding a one-hour discussion on the subject. The issue was first raised by the ruling BJD member Pratap Jena during 0 hour. The Congress leader joined in with party members rushing to the bell of the House. The price of petrol was raised by 3.03 rupees and 7 paise per litre and 1 rupee 90 paise per litre on diesel last night. Nagpur police on Wednesday arrested 3 persons with 1 kilogram of cocaine. The crime branch detained 3 accused and recovered the contraband from their possession worth around 60 lakh rupees. The Gujarat police today arrested 3 men in connection with an interstate kidney racket from the Anand district. The case came to light only after 13 people from the Pandoli village in Anand district said that they'd become victim of the gang who lured poor with promise of getting jobs. The UP government denied permission to AIMIM leader Asaduddin Owaisi to hold a meeting in Lucknow. Owaisi slammed the UP government, saying it was afraid of him as the UP government has done nothing for the minority community. Some international news now, and US President Barack Obama has nominated veteran appeals court judge Merrick Garland to be the next US Supreme Court justice. The Supreme Court vacancy follows the death of Justice Antonin Scalia last month. 63-year-old Judge Garland is viewed as a moderate and has won praise from senior Republican figures. The appointment has to be ratified by the Senate, but its Republican majority has vowed to block a vote on any Supreme Court nominee from Obama. U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell said that President Barack Obama has politicized the Supreme Court nomination process. They want him to leave a nomination to his successor, who will be elected in November. Meanwhile, President Obama has urged the Republicans to give Judge Garland a fair hearing before voting him up or down.
The Senate sees fit to confirm me to the position for which I have been nominated today. I promise to continue on that course.
Tomorrow, Judge Garland will travel to the Hill to begin meeting with senators one-on-one. I simply ask Republicans in the Senate to give him a fair hearing, and then an up or down vote.
Working together to get our economy moving again and make our country safer, rather than endlessly debating an issue where we don't agree. We'll appropriately revisit the matter when it considers the qualifications of the nominee the next president nominates.
The United States imposed fresh sanctions on North Korea after its nuclear test and satellite launch. The executive order signed by the Obama administration blocks certain transactions on property belonging to North Korean government and the ruling Workers' Party of Korea, and also imposes a trade ban. The new order is a significant step up in the pressure through punitive measures by Washington after a U.S. citizen was sentenced to hard labor by Pyongyang.
The U.S. slapping fresh sanctions against North Korea. President Barack Obama signed a new executive order ratcheting up sanctions in retaliation for its recent nuclear and ballistic missile tests. The order freezes all North Korean government property in America and bans U.S. exports to or investment in North Korea. The latest sanctions include those imposed by UN Security Council earlier this month and separate sanctions passed by Congress and enacted by the President in February. U.S. says the country's leadership only had itself to blame for the sanctions, but China condemned them.
正如我在这个讲台多次说过，中国从来都是反对任何国家搞单边制裁。第二，我们在当前这个半岛的局势情况下，复杂敏感的局势情况下，我们反对任何可能。
The development comes amid already heightened tensions between the US and Pyongyang. After the North sentenced an American student to 15 years hard labor on Wednesday for severe crimes against the state, the US demanded release of its citizen Otto Warmbier, who was arrested for trying to steal a propaganda sign from a hotel while on a visit in January.
Now, despite official claims that US citizens arrested in North Korea are not used for political purposes, it is increasingly clear that the North Korean government seeks to use these US citizens as pawns to pursue a political agenda.
Tensions in Korean Peninsula are high after North Korea conducted a nuclear test and then launched a rocket that the West says employed banned ballistic missile technology. The US and South Korea are also holding their annual military drills this month, which routinely generates tension. But this year, North Korea threatened to launch preemptive nuclear strikes against the two allies. Bureau Report, Rajya, Sabha TV.
Now, leaders of the European Union are all set to meet in Brussels to agree on a deal to offer Turkey regarding the migrant crisis. Under a draft deal, Turkey will prevent the smuggling of migrants via rafts and take back all those, including Syrian refugees, who do not make it to Greek islands off Turkey's coast. The draft says the plan is to break the business model of the smugglers and offer migrants an alternative. The European Union stressed that the plan is a temporary and extraordinary measure necessary to end the human suffering and restore public order.
I didn't care. I didn't care. I'm handling it. Just my dream to cross the border because we're on away from the war. We're looking for peaceful land to protect us. That's what we're looking for. Please, Europe. We came here to cross the border. I know you have a big heart, everybody in Europe, We need that.
والله رسالتي للناس المجتمعين انه يحسوا بالعالم، يحسوا بالاطفال. هي عالم هربت من حرب مشان تجي لعندكم انتم فتحتوا ايدكم وصدركم لها.
يعني حالتنا صارت سيئة إن 25 نار يعني تقريبا باركين حرام فتحوا لنا الباب.
A Kurdish militant group claimed responsibility for Sunday's deadly attack in the Turkish capital Ankara, in which 37 people were killed. It said the attack was a revenge for military operations in the mainly Kurdish southeast. The TAK party, which is an offshoot of the banned Kurdistan Workers' Party, or the PKK, had already said it was behind another bombing in Ankara last month. Sunday's suicide car bombing took place in a busy commercial district and transport hub in the city centre. Meanwhile, in a related development, Germany closed its embassy in Ankara and its consulate and a school in Istanbul on Thursday, citing a credible threat of an imminent attack. Some international news now in Global Buzz. Pakistan's Supreme Court has ordered the government to lift the travel ban on former military ruler Pervez Musharraf, paving the way for him to leave the country while awaiting trial. The decision was immediately welcomed by Musharraf's All Pakistan Muslim League party. Musharraf was a part of the overthrow in a 1999 coup and ruled Pakistan until 2008, when he stepped down in the face of widespread opposition to his rule. China's national lawmakers have passed the charity law with 92.4% votes in favor. The new law eases restrictions on the fundraising and operational activities of charity groups, promises tax benefits in the sector, and will tighten supervision on their internal management. The law stipulates how charities should be registered, giving approved charities more freedom in their operations. Charity groups and law experts have praised the law for responding to public concerns. People in Myanmar welcomed their new president, wishing greater progress would be made in reform and development while maintaining peace and stability. Kim Kaur from the ruling NLD, led by Aung San Suu Kyi, won the presidential election on Tuesday, becoming the country's new president for a 5-year term. Many residents have expressed their good wishes for the new president and look forward to the country's future development. Time now for all the sports action in Sports Beat. Indian shuttlers HS Pranoy and Sameer Verma advanced to the pre-quarterfinals of the Swiss Open in Basel. 13-seed Pranoy defeated Germany's Lars 21-16, 21-13 to set up a meeting with the 2010 Commonwealth Games silver medalist Rajiv Osup of England. Samir notched up a stunning 21-19, 21-20 win over fourth seed Chinese Wang Jingming. He will next take on Thailand's Tanongsak in the next round. Defending champion Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal reached the quarterfinals at Indiana Wells. Djokovic beat Spain's Feliciano Lopez 6-3, 6-3 to set up a quarterfinal with Jules-Wilfried Tsonga of France. In another match, three-time champion Rafael Nadal eased past German teenager Alexander Zverev 6-7, 6-0, 7-5. He will next face Japan's Kei Nishikori in the quarters and could face Novak Djokovic in the semis. Coming into the home leg of the Champions League round of 16 with a 2-0 lead, Barcelona defeated Arsenal 3-1 to advance to the quarterfinals of the tournament with an aggregate of 5-1. For Barcelona, the forward trio of Neymar, Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi scored a goal each, while Mohamed El Nene was the lone scorer for the Gunners. Well, that's it from us. Goodbye.